Hello. Previously, we set up the CryptoChain application to serve an index.html file for the front-end page. Next, we're going to configure the front-end to be based on React components. By constructing our application based on React, we have a few key benefits. The most immediate one being, among many others, is that components are reusable pieces of the presentation layer. So as one example, this will help in the case where we're going to want to visualize the entire blockchain. The blockchain is an array of blocks, and each block is going to have its own display. However, rather than creating the HTML individually for each block, we can take advantage of React components to efficiently generate a presentation for each block on the front end. React runs in the JavaScript environment on the browser. Therefore, we need to facilitate that JavaScript through an index.js file. So in the project, make a new index.js file in the client directory. Then our index.html file will need to be equipped to load this JavaScript file. So in the index.html, let's add a script tag at the end of the body. So make sure it's a pair of script tags. And in the opening script tag, we're going to have a source attribute, and this will point to the local index.js file. Now, the reason we want the script at the end of the body is that the browser stops parsing the HTML document once it comes across a script. This allows the JavaScript to do things like dynamically generate HTML into the document if it has the code to do so. Once the JavaScript has been fully executed, then the browser will parse the rest of the HTML. However, we don't necessarily want a JavaScript file to slow down the user from seeing content right away because of the fact that it can insert HTML. By placing the JavaScript at the end of the body section, we mitigate this situation. Before we start writing React code though, let's write a quick JavaScript command to make sure that this new setup is working. In the local client index.js file, let's add a console.log that says JavaScript hello. All right, cool. Now in the command line, if you don't already have the application running in the background, make sure to fire npm run dev, and the new changes should have been picked up. And then open up the browser, refresh the application, and in the console, you'll probably get an unexpected result. We certainly get output, but it's not the JavaScript hello message. In fact, it's an error. And clicking on the error, well, it's going to lead to an unexpected result. We see that the index.js file somehow looks like the HTML file's contents. So this is pretty strange. But the answer is that our backend hasn't been configured yet to serve files from our client directory in more than the index.html. In other words, we're only serving the index.html document. So even if we request from a local index.js file, our Express application is still going to serve the HTML content as that requested index.js file. So as a solution, we need to add the express.static middleware function in order to allow it to serve any files within the client directory. So within our application, at the main index.js file for the overall application, we're going to add a new piece of middleware. We use middleware with the app.use method. We're going to call express.static, and this allows us to serve the static files from a directory. Again, we need the absolute path, which we get with path.join, and the first parameter is the current directory, which is found through the __ dir name keyword. And let's provide the overall absolute path to our local client directory. That way any files within here can be served. Cool. So let's go ahead and save this. One thing you'll notice is that the local / isn't necessary. So likewise below, we don't need the / for the client index.html either. All right, cool. So with those changes, and mainly the app.use express static change, we should be able to see the index.js file. Notice that the application has restarted, and then in the browser, go ahead and refresh. And then we get a console log of JavaScript hello. Cool. And even in the sources, you're going to find that the index.js file has been properly served as our JavaScript content. Cool. So with JavaScript working in the application, now we can start writing React.js code. All right, let's build React into the front end next.